I got a new way to cover my potatoes. This was going to take us probably 4 hours by hand to hoe up all of these. It's not perfect. I've got to tweak it a little bit, but man, it saved us a lot of time. We did these first few rows here because they had come up first. We actually came out here and hand hoed the sides up using grub hose and rakes and garden hose and multiple kids, and it probably took us 2 to 3 hours just to do these 4. Well, in the last 10 to 15 minutes, I was able to do all of this with this hiller, aka a bed maker. And though it's not perfect in that you can't be quite so fiddly with making sure that you don't squish anything, you know, some stuff got smushed down in here, as you can see. I just have to come back and look, go, oh, okay, I'm gonna prop that one back up. I'll prop that one back up. The amount of time that is saved is just ridiculous. I spent $475 on this bed maker to save me probably an entire day's worth of work. So if you figure out what is your time worth per day, you know, let's say you're doing $150 a day, right? That means if you hill your potatoes 3 times, you have paid for the bed maker. That is assuming you have a tractor. But that's a big savings of time. It was definitely worth getting, and it's just a straight mechanical device. So let me show you what it looks like and how it works. This hiller slash bed maker is made by J-Bar Corporation. It has 4 cutting discs here. They are adjustable as to how far out on the bars you want to put them. It's actually quite simple. I've got them spaced here. This is how they were spaced from the factory, which is actually perfect. I can sight my tractor. There's a little sight on the front of the tractor, and I can sight it down and just run straight through the potato beds, and this throws the dirt up, and I put this at its full depth down into the ground, and it mounds the soil up. You could put them tighter if you wanted to. I don't know why you would need to, but that's about perfect. I got this from Lifelong Attachments in Century area of Florida. This is a real time saver, and there's not much to it. These do spin in the ground in case they get obstructed with something, but they pretty much just drag and throw, and they kind of catch and mound up. Now, one thing I found out, when I till at the lowest setting with a high torque tractor running very high on PTO takeoff levels, really slow, carefully grinding. If I run this slow and I just drag on low gear, it barely throws any dirt. I have to put it on high and fly down the row, and then it just really chucks the dirt. It's like 2 waves of a jet ski throwing the dirt over the potatoes, but it's much more fun than a jet ski. Yesterday we put in these 3 yam beds, and I gave it a lot of space in between. This is wide enough that I could run the tiller through here to get rid of grass. I could plant a little cover crop in between here, but we just threw up these mounds. I ran over them twice to get a nice rounded mound, so I have a lot of deep soil for these yams to go in. This is Dioscorea bulbifera, and these guys are going to be climbing up on these T-posts. We were trying to come up with a cheap way to trellis them, so we ran wire across the tops of these T-posts and propped them up. We just dig our pieces in here and cover them up, and they should be up. But this gives us probably, you know, 1.5 feet, 18 inches or so of nice loose soil. And if we had wanted to be really clever of it, we could have put a row of manure pies down here and then driven over it and thrown it down there, because when we grew our ube yam this last season, I put manure pies in a trench and then I covered them with a mound of soil, and they grew some really nice big yams. So we could have done that, but we didn't. Instead, they're just going to have to eat the remnants of the sod that's under here. So 1, 2, 3. This would have taken hours to dig by hand. Hours. With the bedmaker attachment, we were able to just throw it up. This thing is a lot more robust than some of the bed makers that I've seen online. When I saw it, I was like, man, that is a heavy piece of equipment. It takes 2 men to lift it. But I think it's going to last exceedingly well. There's just nothing to it design-wise that is easy to break. And it's very strong steel. So just using it 2 days now, it's paid for itself in my labor. And we're just starting using it. We're going to be able to use this for potatoes, and for if you had a poor drainage area, we could just make mounds to plant on top of. We could do this for watermelons, pumpkins, all kinds of different things. Definitely worth the $475. And I thought, well, you know what? It's kind of a cool, simple tool. If you have a tractor, it's great. If you don't, you would probably have to hitch 4 or 5 of your friends together and just run with it behind. I don't know how that would work, but if you do it, please leave a comment below and let me know how it turned out. Just a quick look at the bed maker. If you're interested, I got it from Lifelong Attachments. It is a J-bar bed maker, mound thrower, dirt hiller. Catch y'all next time. Until then, may your thumbs always be green.